give us a better understanding of what this could mean for Catholic higher education, we're joined by the presidents of two leading Catholic schools on opposite coasts in the United States, the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C., and Thomas Aquinas College in Santa Paula, California. We begin with President John Garvey of the Catholic University of America. President Garvey, you're an expert in the Constitution. Why is the religious exemption for religious colleges and universities so important?
Hi, Monty. It's nice to see you. It's important to us, first of all, because our job is to educate our students to lead lives of virtue. And among the things that we want to tell them is how they should appropriately live their lives. But obviously, the kinds of things that we're having discussions about now bear on the actions that we've got to perform as a university, and we don't want to send signals that are contrary to the faith we're trying to teach our students.
That's really important. And from a constitutional perspective, is it legal for the government to take away an exemption like this?
It would be. That's an interesting question. The lawsuit says that the government is forbidden to allow an exemption like this, and I think that's a fairly easy question. I think the Constitution protects the free exercise of religion, and the government certainly may allow an exception, as it does to Title IX. In fact, I would go farther and say that the government, in many cases, would be required to allow an exemption. That's an issue that's before the court in another case that will be decided this term, Fulton against the City of Philadelphia.
That's a really important case that we're watching very carefully. Is it true, and this is it's not a hypothetical question, I know you deal with this all the time, is it true that this claim that students around the country say that LGBTQ students don't feel welcome or safe on religious campuses, is that true for you?
I don't believe it is. It's an empirical question, of course, and it's important for us at Catholic University to send the kinds of messages, to do the sort of teaching that we're doing here consistent with what the Catholic Church teaches. And the Church teaches that discrimination against gays and lesbians is wrong for all of us. And so I think on our campus, when we ask students to come as freshmen, we have a sort of pledge that the freshmen take that they won't discriminate against others on campus, including people on account of their sexual orientation. That's a different matter from requiring that we observe the sorts of rules that the Supreme Court has put in place for in Bostock last year. I mean, for example, we don't want to have men living in the same rooms as young women. We don't want to have biological males playing on our female sports teams. We don't want to be the ones who are through our health plan, paying for gender transition surgery. There are actions that we ourselves wouldn't take, but that's a different thing from discriminating against our students, and we want to send the message that all our students are children of God and welcome here.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, President Garvey.
Thank you. It's always nice to see you, Monty.
Joining us next is Dr. Michael McLean, president of Thomas Aquinas College in California. Dr. McLean, thanks for taking the time to weigh in here. Although Catholics are not named in this lawsuit, this affects Thomas Aquinas College, right?
I think it certainly does, Monte. Like President Garvey said, our religious convictions are very important to us, and we really have put together our rules of residence in a way that manifests Catholic teaching on sexuality and gender, and we feel that as a Catholic institution, we have every right to do that and to model and encourage our students in the acquisition of Christian virtue.
Is that what makes a Catholic university different? Is that why you need a religious exemption?
I think it is. In this day and age, with the challenges that secular culture is presenting, I think it's very important for Catholic institutions and religious institutions generally to be confident and upfront about their convictions and to model those convictions in their rules of residence and their guidelines they offer to the students.
Are these values that you think minority students are interested in? Is that why they come to your university?
I think our students come to our college, of course, first of all, for the quality of our educational program, but our Catholic commitment is central to our mission and central to what draws students to us. And I think they really do appreciate the kind of moral and spiritual community we have formed here on on our campus at Thomas Aquinas College, and I think that's a big attraction for many of our students.
On Wednesday night, President Biden said that he wanted to expand Pell Grants, but also to see the Equality Act passed. And if passed, the Equality Act would force religious universities to forsake their religious mission in order to receive federal funds. Would that force you to change your mission or your beliefs?
No, we would never, I think, change our mission or beliefs in response to something like that. Frankly, the direction we might go in would be to move away from federal funding and find other sources of funds to replace what federal funding we receive. As a matter of fact, the only federal funding we receive are federally subsidized student loans, which historically have been understood to be aid to the student and not, strictly speaking, aid to the college. And some of our students do receive Pell Grants or, in California, Cal Grants. So if the Biden administration were to pass regulations or legislation that required us to give up the federal funding, that's a direction we would go in.
Well, we'll be watching this carefully, and we'll come to you for an update when we know more.